Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Rustam, and this is your second lecture, History of English Literature. In this short video, I'll be talking about Old English period. Okay, so Old English period is also known as Anglo-Saxon period, and it roughly starts from 670 AD up to 1066 AD. If we further round off our dates, we can say 700 to 1100 AD. So during this period, a lot of English literature was created, but it was mainly in the domain of poetry and prose. Let me show you the next slide. Okay, now before I proceed further, I would like to talk about how we came to know about all this. So it was Bede's history of religious history of English nation. Let me annotate it so that you can, here at the top you can see Bede's ecclesiastical history of English people. Okay, so Bede wrote this history for his own purposes, but we can know about all this from Bede's history. Okay, now let me proceed further. So this literature was in two genres, as I mentioned earlier. First one was poetry, okay, and the second one was prose. So first we discuss poetry. So in poetry, poetry can be divided into two subcategories. One was non-religious poetry and the other was religious poetry. Okay, Anglo-Saxons and Jutes who lived in Danish peninsula, or you can say Scandinavian region, they started invasion of England in 449 AD, and they continued their invasion up till 670 AD. And during this period, they had some legends, some sagas, and there were bards and minstrels who sang those songs. So it was a kind of oral literature. So the stories related to pagan literature, they were like Beowulf, Widsith, Dio, Wanderer and Waldia. And why I have written this date 597? Actually, a priest, particularly a saint from Rome, came to preach Christianity to England in 597 AD, and with the help of his preaching, Anglo-Saxons converted to Christianity. So after their conversion, what was the name of that priest, a missionary leader? He was Saint Augustine. Okay, different people pronounce it in a different way, but its actual pronunciation is Augustine. So Saint Augustine came to England in 597 and converted Anglo-Saxons towards Christianity. So after this, whatever was written in the domain of poetry, that is known as religious poetry. Okay, now as far as pagan poetry, or when they were heathen and when they were non-believers, okay, this poetry consists of mainly these 5 poems. There were so many other short pieces mentioned in ecclesiastical history of Bede, but we don't have the detailed version of these poems. So these were important poems: Beowulf, Widsith, Dio, Complaint of Dio, and Wanderer and Waldia. Now as far as religious poetry is concerned, there were two poets who were very famous. One was Caedmon. He was also a kind of missionary person, a priest, and second was Ceolwulf. Now again, if you visit YouTube or you browse this Google, you will come to know about different versions and pronunciation of these proper names. But I have checked these pronunciations, so you can pronounce them the way I am trying to pronounce them: Caedmon and Ceolwulf. Now as far as Caedmon is concerned, he wrote many short pieces, but of importance are Judith, Fall of the Angels. Okay, this is related to chapter 1 of the Bible, that is Genesis. And second is Dream of the Rood and Bestiary and Phoenix. So these are very important poems by Caedmon. Now Ceolwulf wrote Christ, Juliana, Eileen, and the fates of the saints. Fates of the apostles. Apostles were those 12 people who embraced Christianity at the hands of Jesus Christ. Even in Quran, they have been mentioned. The Quran uses the word Havariyun, but in the Old Testament, particularly Torah, or we also call it Pentateuch, so they have been mentioned by the name of apostles. Sorry, not in Old Testament, in New Testament, okay, which is called Gospel of. There are 4 Gospels, so all the 4 Gospels are known as New Testament. Okay, so now let's talk about Beowulf. Beowulf was a knight errant. Errant means a person who just wanders aimlessly, and who he or she has got this disposition to roam around. Okay, so Beowulf was actually a mighty warrior of royal Swedish blood. So he belonged to Swedish area. As I keep saying in face-to-face classroom, that these tribes which are known as Germanic tribes, they lived along the coast of Scandinavia, like Sweden, okay, Denmark, and these 3 areas are known as Scandinavian countries. This poem, Beowulf, it is in the nature of a narrative. You can say it is a kind of epic, long tale in verse. So it has got 3,000 lines, okay, 3,000 lines. And what is the story? In short, King Hrothgar, who was ruling England, and he was being ravaged by a monster. The name of the monster was Grendel. So Grendel was a dreadful monster, and it killed population of Hrothgar's kingdom. So Beowulf was invited, and he came to the help of King Hrothgar, and Beowulf killed Grendel. Okay. However, Grendel had a mother, and who lived in the chilly waters and in the floods. So Beowulf had to descend into the chilly waters, and he had a fierce fight with the mother of Grendel, and he was terribly wounded. And before he was about to be killed, he saw a sword, magical sword, and he killed mother of Grendel. After this, he kept on doing his heroic exploits, and his life spans about 50 years. During these 50 years, Beowulf went on many heroic adventurous exploits, but finally he was killed by the venom of a dragon. Okay, venom means poison. Now the second important poem of non-religious era is Widsith. Widsith means the wanderer. Widsith was also a name. He was also a traveler. Then we also have a poem named as Dio, Complaint of Dio. He was a minstrel. Minstrel means a bard, like we say gavaiya in Urdu. So he just gives vent to his complaint, because he was in the court of some king and some other courtier. He was being given much attention in comparison with this Dio. So he composed this poem in a form of complaint. We don't need to study all these things in detail, because our course starts from medieval times. Anyhow, in order to study medieval times or Middle English period or Middle Ages, we need to have a background knowledge. That's why I discussed all this. Now coming to religious poetry, which starts from 597 AD and up to 1066 AD. This Caedmon wrote Judith, Fall of the Angels, Dream of the Rood, Bestiary and Phoenix, and Cynewulf wrote Christ, Juliana, Eileen, and Fates. Now this was poetry. Now coming to prose. Prose was mainly in the form of translations, okay, and chronicles. Chronicles means history of the time. मैं थोड़ा उर्दू में बताता हूँ कि पुराने ज़माने में लोग जो है तारीख़ उस तरह लिखी नहीं जाती थी, तो जब जंग वगैरह होती थी तो साथ जाते थे लोग जो हिस्ट्री रिकॉर्ड करते थे, जो वाक़यात को देखते थे, आई विटनेसेस, और उन्हें हम उर्दू में कहते हैं वक़ाए निगार, और वो जो वाक़यात होते थे उसको वो लिख लेते थे। तो हिस्ट्री का तो एक अपना अंदाज़ होता है। सो पीपल हु रोट व्हाट हैपेंड ऑन द बैटल फील्ड वर नोन एज क्रोनिकलिस्ट। So there were chronicles in present. Alfred the Great, he was the king of England, and he translated many things from Latin into English. And another name was Alfric. Alfric was a religious person, and whatever he translated, that was in the nature of didacticism. That is, it had only one purpose. It was not true art. It just related to the preaching of Christianity. So prose was very famous in Old English period, and the very important name was Alfred the Great. So in 1066, the last of the Anglo-Saxon king Harold, he was defeated at the hands of William the Conqueror, who came from France. And there is a distance of 75 kilometers between England and France, because English Channel separates the province of Normandy. Normandy was actually a district 75 kilometers away from English Channel. So William the Conqueror came from Normandy and invaded England, and thus Old English period ends at 1066 AD. So hope you have got a basic idea about Old English period or Anglo-Saxon period. So you don't need to go into detail. However, one work, that is Beowulf, should be studied in detail, so that you can, because it represents the spirit of the age, that is Old English period. And soon inshallah I'll be uploading another video lecture on Middle English period. Thank you very much.